It was Friday evening. Omar finished work early. He felt happy because the weekend was starting. He stopped at a supermarket. He bought some food and drinks. He also bought snacks for the weekend. When he arrived home, the building was quiet. He went up the stairs. He stood in front of his apartment door. He looked for his keys. He checked his right pocket. Nothing. He checked his left pocket. Nothing. He checked his bag. Nothing. He froze. He slowly remembered something. He left his keys on the kitchen table in the morning. Inside the apartment. The door was locked. Omar felt stupid. He tried to open the door again. It was completely locked. He knocked. No answer. He looked at his phone. Battery, 9%. He sighed. He sat on the stairs. He thought about calling a locksmith, but it was Friday evening. It would be expensive. He decided to call his landlord. No answer. He tried again. Still no answer. His phone battery went down to 5%. He felt stressed. His food bags were on the floor. He could hear people inside other apartments, but he did not know his neighbors. He felt embarrassed to knock. After 10 minutes, he decided to try. He knocked on the neighbor's door. An old woman opened the door. She looked at him carefully. Omar explained the situation. She smiled and said, "It happens." She invited him inside. He charged his phone. He called the landlord again. This time, the landlord answered. He said he had a spare key, but he was outside the city. He would return in 2 hours. Omar thanked the woman. He waited. They talked about simple things: weather, work, life. After 2 hours, the landlord arrived. He opened the apartment door. Omar entered his home. He looked at the kitchen table. His keys were exactly where he left them. He laughed quietly. It was a small mistake, but it felt like a big problem. That night, he made a simple decision. From that day, he always checked his keys before leaving. It was Monday morning. Kareem was late for work. He woke up late. He did not eat breakfast. He took his bag and ran outside. The bus was crowded. People were pushing. It was noisy and uncomfortable. After 20 minutes, Kareem arrived at the office. He sat down at his desk. He put his hand in his pocket. His phone was not there. He checked his other pocket. Nothing. He opened his bag. Nothing. His heart started beating fast. He felt nervous. His phone had everything: photos, contacts, bank applications. He asked his colleague for help. He used his colleague's phone to call his number. The phone was ringing. Someone answered. A strange voice said, "Hello." Kareem felt scared. He said, "Hi, I think you have my phone." The man replied, "Yes, you dropped it on the bus." Kareem felt relief. The man said, "I am near the central station. You can come and take it." Kareem left the office immediately. He took a taxi. When he arrived, a man was waiting. The man smiled and gave him the phone. Everything was still there. Nothing was missing. Kareem said, "Thank you so much." It was a stressful morning, but it ended well. Everyone talks about success, but no one talks about the nights before it. The nights full of fear, doubts, and failure. This is not a story about winning. This is a story about failing and standing up again. Daniel always believed he was meant for more. While others were comfortable, Daniel felt restless. He wanted a better life, not an easy life, a meaningful one. So he quit his safe job. Everyone said he was crazy, but Daniel believed in his dream. Daniel invested all his savings into a small business. The first months were exciting. Late nights, big plans, big hopes. Then reality arrived. Customers disappeared, bills increased, Mistakes became expensive. One morning, Daniel opened his bank account. The balance was almost zero. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. His mind was loud. You failed. You are not good enough. He avoided his friends. He stopped answering calls. Failure didn't just take his money, it took his confidence. One evening, Daniel met his father. They sat in silence. Finally, his father spoke. "Failure doesn't define you," he said. "What you do after failure does." That sentence stayed with Daniel. Daniel didn't start again immediately. First, he studied his mistakes, painfully, honestly. He learned new skills. He asked for help. He rebuilt slowly. This time, he wasn't chasing success. He was building strength. 2 years later, Daniel succeeded. Not loudly, not suddenly, quietly, strongly. Failure was still part of his story, but now it was the reason he was ready. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the path to it. If you are failing right now, you are not behind. You are becoming.